widowed cowboy had learned the sound of silence the hard way. It lived in the corners of his small ranch house, clung to the wooden beams, and echoed louder at night than any coyote howl. 3 months had passed since the fever took his wife, and still he woke, reaching for a warmth that was no longer there. That morning, the desert sun rose pale and unforgiving, spilling light across the porch where dust danced in the air. But inside the house, something else ruled the dawn. The sharp, desperate cry of a newborn. The baby boy, red-faced and trembling, wailed from a cradle built with hands that still shook with grief. The cowboy, Eli Walker, lifted the child with clumsy tenderness. He had broken horses, faced outlaws, and stared down death. Yet nothing terrified him more than the small life pressed against his chest. The baby cried harder, tiny fists beating against Eli's shirt, hungry in a way Eli could not fix. He had tried everything: watered-down milk, advice from neighbors miles away, prayers whispered to a God who felt distant. Nothing worked. The crying cut through him, sharp and accusing, a reminder of everything he had lost and everything he did not know how to be. Eli stepped onto the porch, rocking the child, his eyes scanning the empty horizon as if answers might ride in on the wind. That was when the knock came. Soft, uncertain, a sound that did not belong. Eli froze. No one came out this far without reason. He shifted the baby to one arm and reached for the revolver at his hip with the other. When he opened the door, he did not find trouble. He found a woman. She stood a few steps back, hands open, posture calm but wary. She was Apache, her dark hair braided neatly, her eyes steady and unreadable. The desert seemed to hush around her. Eli had grown up hearing stories, warnings, really about Apache raids and danger, tales soaked in fear and exaggeration. But the woman before him looked neither threatening nor afraid. She looked resolute. Her gaze dropped to the crying baby, and something softened in her expression. She spoke quietly, her voice firm but gentle. "I heard the child," she said. "I have milk." The words hung in the air, simple and impossible all at once. Eli stared at her, his grip tightening on the baby. 1,000 thoughts collided in his mind: fear, suspicion, desperation, pride. He did not know her name. He did not know why she had come. He only knew his son was starving. The baby's cries weakened into hoarse whimpers, and Eli felt something inside him break open. He had sworn to protect this child from every danger the world could offer. Yet here he was, helpless. The woman took a careful step closer, stopping when Eli stiffened. "I lost a child too," she said softly, as if reading his fear. "Milk does not vanish with grief." Her words struck deeper than any threat could have. Eli looked at the tiny face buried against his chest, then back at the woman. The desert wind stirred her dress, carrying with it the scent of sage and dust. He lowered his hand from the gun. Slowly, reluctantly, he nodded. Inside the house, the air felt heavier as the woman crossed the threshold, as if two worlds were colliding in that small room. She moved with practiced ease, guiding Eli without judgment, and when she took the baby, the crying stopped almost instantly. Silence returned, but this time it was filled with wonder. The child latched on, calm and alive, and Eli felt tears burn his eyes. He turned away, ashamed of the relief crashing through him. In that moment, he realized survival sometimes arrived in forms you were taught to fear. If this story is already pulling you in, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, because stories like this, filled with heart, history, and humanity, are just getting started. The baby slept peacefully for the first time in days, his chest rising and falling in a rhythm that finally matched the calm settling over the room. Eli sat across from the Apache woman at the rough wooden table, unsure what to say or how to begin understanding what had just happened. She told him her name was Nita, and when she spoke it, there was pride there and sorrow too. She did not linger over explanations, but she did not hide either. She had seen his wife once from a distance before the fever came. She had heard the baby's cries carried by the wind over the dry hills, a sound any mother or any woman who had been one could not ignore. Eli listened, feeling his old certainties unravel. He had believed the world was divided into simple lines, safe and dangerous, us and them. Yet here sat a woman who had crossed those lines not with a weapon, but with compassion. Over the next days, Nita returned. Always careful, always respectful. She fed the baby and taught Eli small things. How to hold him, how to listen to the different kinds of cries, how to breathe through the fear of doing it wrong. In exchange, Eli offered food, shade, and silence where her grief could exist without being questioned. They did not speak much about the past at first. It hovered between them like a ghost neither wanted to disturb. But grief has a way of finding its voice. One evening, as the sun bled red across the horizon, Nita spoke of her lost child, taken by sickness during a hard winter. Eli spoke of his wife, of the laugh that once filled the house now echoing only in memory. They did not try to fix each other's pain. They simply let it be seen. Word travels fast even across empty land. Some neighbors warned Eli that trusting an Apache woman would bring trouble. Others whispered when they saw her leave the ranch at dusk. Eli listened, then looked at his son, stronger now, alive because of the woman they feared, and chose to stop listening. He realized something fundamental had shifted inside him. Protecting his child did not mean shutting the world out. It meant recognizing kindness wherever it appeared. One morning, as Nita prepared to leave, Eli asked her to stay longer. Not as an obligation, not as a favor, but as family if she wished. Nita studied him carefully, the way one studies the weather before deciding to travel. Then she nodded. Life on the ranch changed slowly, like the turning of seasons. The baby grew. Laughter returned, tentative at first, then stronger. The silence that once crushed Eli became a quiet he could rest in. Two broken lives had found a way to stand together, not by erasing the past, but by honoring it. And in that unlikely bond, forged on a dusty porch with a crying baby and a simple offer of milk, something enduring was born. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that humanity can rise above fear and division, make sure you subscribe to the channel. More powerful, emotional stories like this are waiting for you, and your support helps keep them alive.